Good afternoon. Well, it's pretty cold here today, but the sun makes it warmer, and I don't know if my battery will stand up because it seems to freeze and then the picture goes away. So I'll do the best I can. The Omicron pandemic, as it is, seems to threaten all manner of dire results. And some get it one way, which is stand back of it, the best defense. For example, the teachers in Chicago who are taking a beating in the press because, our kids should be in school. And then businesses that are closing down or airlines that have shortages of staff are taking a beating too. And I think it's because we don't choose our objective very clearly. Aristotle said nothing improves your aim like having a target. Is first and foremost our target the safety of persons, no matter their age, no matter their comorbidities? Well, somehow it's part of it, and the other part of it, and this is what ruins public policy in almost every category, is it good for business? Well, if a business can't be open because people are sick and spreading disease, that's not exactly a good retail value in my experience. But I'll give you an example from Manchin. I've gone to several events about clean air and clean water in which he's spoken in West Virginia. And each time he'll say something like, I'm for clean air if it doesn't cost too much. I'm for clean water if it doesn't cost too much. Well, what are we doing now in the pandemic? Well, I'm all for these protections that CDC talks about, as long as it doesn't compromise business. As long as Johnny is in school so the parents have a babysitter. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but look at the numbers. The numbers every day are these infections are stratospheric, so you can't ignore it. And now, I'll try not to fall on my ass because there's a fair amount of ice out today from what was snow yesterday. The Biden, I've now looked at his speech, and when you drill down and you look carefully at the words they use, I believe that what happened is we had this kind of a success. Both Garland and Biden are trying to answer people like you and me who say, where's the beef? These guys committed an offense a year ago and you haven't done a damn thing about it. That's it. That's the whole argument. So now they've said something about it, but they still haven't done anything about it. And if they had any brains, what they would have done, and Garland would have done, is indict Meadows. And so here we have a long period of time. And if we can't indict a person for contempt of a subpoena, are we ever going to indict or charge someone with a felony? Now, another thing that, sorry if I'm slipping around here, another thing that these guys are doing is Garland says something like, well, we work from the bottom up. Really? Well, when you work from the bottom up, you cut a deal with the guy at the bottom to give somebody a little higher up. You don't give them a misdemeanor. You don't give them probation. You threaten them with a felony if you have the goods, and you get something in exchange, information about a higher up. They're not working from the bottom up. These people are pleading and getting no time at all. They're on probation, and they're not being punished, so they're not being coerced or pressured or cornered into giving something about somebody else. Nor is there any indication they're going to anybody who is in the White House or on the Hill and pressuring them to talk. So that's why we get taunted by the bad guys. If we're not careful, we're going to be like Putin. We're going to have our own, Kazakhstans here, because there'll be protests somewhere and they'll be sending government troops out to suppress us, and it'll be the people that are against the government that is monarchical, dictator, autocratic, and that's what our concern is. So what do we have to do? Well, our government has to catch up. We have to start dealing with this problem in a serious fashion, not thinking they can light up those people that are waiting to hear the few words that sound like they're doing something when they're doing nothing at all. So I guess the heat of dealing with the cold has made me, flamboyant. So have a good day. I'll be out tomorrow, and apparently my battery lasted.